Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Arena Gauntlet League match. Today is match number 27, the second match of week 6 of play, the final week of play here in the AGL, of which we have qualified for and are working our way through. It's been quite the ride, and if you have stumbled across this video, don't exactly know what you're watching here, you can check the top of the description and check out my week 0 introduction into this iteration of the AGL, and also check the last 26 videos uploaded to the channel to catch up to where we are today with the deck you see on your screen right now. It's a black-red sacrifice aggro grindy kind of deck that has done us very well so far. So today's match number 27. We are in the thick of the top 8 hunt and looking to make a run here today. So let's check out standings. With just 4 matches to go in this league, here is where we currently stand. In 5th place with a record of 18-8. Now, any win or any loss, moves us a lot here. Moving from 5th to 4th is important. And a loss here would technically not drop us unless other matches have also happened in the time that we play this match here. So there's a lot on the line. Top 8 is what we're looking for. We've got a lot happening here. If you look on the right, our opponent match win percentage is the second lowest on this entire board. So we're going to need some help as far as our record to really get us in. I think a record of 4-1 this week or a record of 21-9. is going to get us in. A record of 20-10 is going to be close. We're going to need some tiebreaker help. But like I mentioned in every video for about the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all we can do is concern ourselves with the match in front of us and try to get that win. Now, 28 people made it to week 6 of this league out of an original 121 members. At the time of this recording, 26 remain, and we're fighting for one of those top 8 spots like I mentioned. The AGL also has a predictor model that runs all sorts of simulations and gives you a percentage chance to get into the top 8. And heading into this match, that predictor model actually has us at a 58% chance to make top 8 here. A lot could go wrong. We could finish the week 0-4 and go, or 0-3, go 18-11, which would obviously mean we don't get in. But 58%, I think I'll take that. And today's second match of week 6 is going against MnemonicDevice, who has a record of 15-9, sitting in 19th place of those 26 that do remain. We are at 18-8, like you saw previously. They're running a Bant deck here. Got pared down a little bit by the random looking for match bot in the Discord channel here, but I think that's okay. Playing the people really, really close to you means those matches just count so much more. If you win, it's great. If you lose, gosh, it just spells your absolute doom. So MnemonicDevice, not a bad pairing here to finish what will be match number 27 of the league for us here. So without any further ado, enjoy today's match. All right, we're on the draw today, and just like yesterday's match and the next 2 matches after this one, I'm going to be commentating over the top of this one. Why do I keep on saying commentating commentary style? But that's what it is. I'm going to be giving commentary on the top of this post-match, as I did have to play the first 4 matches of this week on the road with my laptop in a house that was not mine, because got to get those matches in quick on week 6 if you want a chance. So I'm going to be recapping the plays that were made here. And we start with a 1-drop, and they have a 2-drop. So we're going to go ahead and get in against a white-green deck. Good Fortune Unicorn. It's a nice aggressive creature here. Keep drawing red cards that I can't necessarily cast yet. And I'm debating if I want to trade off this Siphoner for a Helpful Hunter. If I attack and he decides to double block. And I'm willing to risk a potential double block at the expense of pushing an extra couple of damage, because I still had priority and I didn't think he was going to block based on any sort of combat trick or something. Could have stab and kill the unicorn and the hunter. Would have been pretty bad for him, so it made sense not to block. Sometimes you gotta bluff a little bit. Combat Thresher has double strike and enters with a counter and draws a card. Not too shabby. Can we find the mountain? Thank goodness we do. Now, he's getting priority through most of this stuff here. And you're going to figure out with me watching back here at what point I figured out that MnemonicDevice was triggering full control over and over again just to mess with me. I was looking through the pool. I think there was a giant growth. There's the moment where I realized a single green trick in hand could not have been what it was, because it immediately went to combat and didn't give any moment of priority. So I know that he doesn't have a trick in hand, so it's just a matter of how do I want to attack now. And I do have the Burst Lightning in hand. I'm actually thinking of trying to figure out a way to not kill the Combat Thresher so I could steal it with Double Strike at some point. But in making this attack here, I suppose what my thought is that if he didn't block last turn, here now you can see he's holding full control to mess with me here. I'm looking for any sort of triggers he could have. One green. Maybe I didn't figure it out yet, but my thought is that if he blocks like Gourmand with Combat Thresher, I'm just going to Burst Lightning and pump the Raider. And if he blocks the Siphoner with the Thresher, I'll do the same thing. So, but if he didn't block last turn, I don't think he's going to block right now. Okay, I guess I wanted to cash in. Kind of regret that a little bit, looking back. It's always fun to watch these back a little bit, because I get to see some things, and if I would have made the same decision looking back. So now I get to decide how many times I want to pump the Raider, if I want to use Burst Lightning, or what. And it immediately went to my end step. That was the moment I decided to try to trigger and see if I could catch him off guard, not on full control. And it immediately went to my end step, didn't get priority over there, which means I have the priority to use the Burst Lightning right now. And I do decide to use it on the Unicorn because, again, the involuntary employment, I'm thinking about either stealing the Thresher or using the Remorse on the Thresher later. The Playful Shove has just not really done what I wanted it to do most of these matchups. I do have the Remorse to kill something very big. If he plays a Trampler, I could steal that with Employment. If I'm not mistaken, I think his pool has 2 Galtas in it. I have to go back and look at that. Now I'm a little bit punished for not having killed the Thresher, but, 6 double strike damage if I were to steal it is pretty good too. And the stab is pretty good against Giada, so my thought now is steal the Thresher, kill Giada, attack for 7, put him to 4, and then Playful Shove is effectively at 3. We have the Remorse to kill the Thresher the next turn. We have a Ravine Raider which has Menace. So I think this is a pretty good spot to be in. Now, one thing I worry about is somehow pumping that Thresher up to 7 power, which would kill me right now, but I just don't think that's very realistic. There might have been a giant growth in the pool, but even that doesn't do it. It would need 2 things, so. All right, Thresher puts us to 9. And you're going to see a moment here where a land actually ends up being lethal if we can find it. So, Ravine Raider, well, Actually, maybe it's the next turn. Ravine Raider has Menace, so something I can do is force a double chump and then hope that the Thresher can't kill me next turn. Because I can pump the Ravine Raider 3 times and make it a 4/4, which means they have to double chump no matter what. I could also Remorse the Lathril and attack for 3. I could kill the Helpful Hunter and attack and pump twice for 3. So there's no way to get lethal here, but I think forcing the double chump is pretty good. I just have to hope the Combat Thresher can't kill me on the backswing, which, you know, if he's willing to attack with a Combat Thresher, here comes the full control again. Then that's probably pretty good news for me. You can see it like not passing through his upkeep, which tells you it's on full control. So let's see if we do get, in fact, put to 3 here. Okay, Thresher in for 3. Llanowar Elves, Playful Shove could take care of that, and the Snare Spinner. Now's the time where a land would have been lethal, but we didn't get it. Because if we drew the land, it could Playful Shove the Elves and then also pump the Raider 3 times. So now I pretty much have to kill this Thresher. So I could go Teapot Slinger and Remorse the Thresher. And if they draw a land, I am forced to chump with the Ravine Raider on the Snare Spinner. So, you know, that puts me in an awkward spot. I guess I'm weighing my options here. Thinking about shoving the Elves, but the shove could also be used to deal 1 damage to his face at some point. Plus, next turn I could potentially expend 4 with the shove, put him to 1. Force a block on the Raider. Both of my creatures have Menace. So, obviously things could potentially go wrong here, but I think this is the best course of action currently. But the double creature did force us to hold here now. Dwynen's Elite making another 1/1 and a Rosethorn Acolyte, so 5 creatures now. We have 2 Menace creatures and a Playful Shove. Is there something we can do? I think it's going to rely off the top of our deck. And I assume no attacks. Sanguine Siphoner does mean that we can expend 4 here, and actually means that next turn the Siphoner attacking is lethal. So this is kind of a risky play, but Playful Shove the face actually puts him to 1, and the Siphoner is lethal next turn. Because I can't really push through the creature. So I go ahead and just hit the face here, go to 1, draw another creature, which is pretty good. In fact, watching this back, I just realized had I not drawn a 2-drop or a removal, I would have lost because of the Snare Spinner. Snare Spinner would have put a counter on the Elves, and then... No, I would have had 3 blockers for 3 2-powered attackers. But if they drew a land, I would have lost. So, yeah, that was close. Maybe not the right play. Maybe I should have picked off one of the 1/1s. Still would have put them at 2. And then I would still have 2 Menace attackers, so they probably couldn't attack me. The really interesting game. Oh, Automaton giving all Elves +1/+1. And my first thought was, oh no, I'm dead. But as long as I keep this Sanguine Siphoner alive, I should still win here. Because I just need to attack with the Siphoner. Here's the full control again. MnemonicDevice. We talked about it afterward a little bit about him playing with full control. Definitely got in my head a little bit. But we will take game number 1 here. And what I think is actually a pretty good matchup for us, if we're being honest. So I'm looking at this Barge in, which gives trample. That can kind of trample over all these 2/2s and 1/1s potentially to help push a little bit of damage. The Gorehorn Raider also actually looks pretty decent in killing some of those smaller things as well. Now deciding what to take out. Should probably just be this Playful Shove. I look at these Strongbox Raiders, and with all these 2/2s and 3/3s and stuff, they don't actually line up particularly well. They could still draw a card and stuff, but like, they don't line up super well. Think about bringing in another Flyer. The Flyers seem pretty good against them. And I'm looking at the Reptilian Recruiter as well, but I go ahead and take out the Shivan Dragon because the Dragon Trainer actually represents 2 bodies, one of which also flies. I think the 2 bodies is actually better than the Shivan Dragon here. Because the extra body can just, you know, ping them off of Blood Witch triggers or trade for an Elves or something like that. So we're going to start on the draw in game 2. And yeah, we ended up with a pretty darn good hand. This would be insane on the play. If we could draw a 1-drop here, I mean, there's not much more you could ask for. Don't get the 1-drop, but usually a Siphoner on 2 has attacks on 3, which means the Goblin could potentially come down, but also getting a Darkstar Augur down could be really good. Just trying to get that card advantage as early as I can. Probably going to name Elves, and does. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make a really interesting bluff here. And actually my thought was, I suppose I'm okay trading it for the Hunter because I didn't even hold full control, which I probably just should have done. And I'm thinking about playing one of these raid creatures, but my thought is also the Augur blocks well and can trigger raid next turn and can potentially help draw us extra cards. So getting the Augur down early is usually pretty important. And it dies, but that's okay. We've got a lot of other good things in our hand as well. Let's see if... Okay, so we do get to trigger raid again this turn, and we have some really interesting decisions to make regarding what to play here. And I almost snap off the Brazen Collector, but let's see if I go with the play that my mind wants to do right now, looking back on this here. What I want to do is get the combo of Seer Slicer Goblin and Gourmand going, because every turn you make a 1/1, and I do see it. Good. And the Gourmand attack, sacks the 1/1, draws a card, and at the end of the turn you make another 1/1. Which is really, really good and really difficult to interact with. Gets a land back, plays a land, and plays a Valkyrie. So the board is getting a bit gummed up, but we do have our combo here. So I'm going to go ahead and start comboing off. And just play as many creatures as I can, I think. And now we have an interesting moment that I think I am very proud looking back on the decision that I made. Here comes, wait for it, Overrun. My thought immediately was, oh no, I'm dead. We are facing down 17 points of damage here. I could go to 2, but I look back and I count the damage on the backswing, and I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I do not have lethal on the backswing. So I think I need to stem the bleeding as much as I can here. And now I'm under a ton of pressure. And the best way to stem the bleeding is with the biggest toughness creature that I've got, which is this Sanguine Siphoner here. Blocking with the 1 toughness creatures doesn't really make sense, I don't think. So I go ahead and soak up 3 of the damage. And go down to 5 with a couple of 1/1s and then a 1/3 flyer on the board that I have removal for. So I feel like I'm in a decent spot, even at 5 here. And drew a land, which like isn't horrible. Now I have to figure out like how much I want to extend into this board. I have technically 6 mana to work with, but let's see if the Gourmand Goblin combo finds us anything else off the top here. Here comes the full control again. Okay. Found another land. Don't need that this turn. So now I'm just going to go ahead and play the borders. And if one of my creatures dies, I could use the Overwhelming Remorse this turn. I don't think I need to Eaten Alive, sacking any of these things yet. The Valkyrie's only representing 1 point of damage, so just go ahead and end it here. Llanowar Elves, that doesn't bother me. Here comes the Valkyrie. This should be a race we win with 2 removal spells in hand. Alright, now the lands need to start slowing a little bit. Because we might need maybe 1 or 2 more relevant cards to help finish out this game here. So we keep the combo going. Start presenting like, okay, you might need to make some blocks here at some point. And find yet another land, like I said. Not doing exactly what we want to. This is 8 points of damage, so... Go ahead, go to damage. Put him to 6. Make a 1/1. And end the turn, I think. We're not casting Eaten Alive and Overwhelming Remorse this turn, unless we sacked one of these relevant creatures here, which I'm not going to do. thinking about if there's any way for me to be able to cast both, but I don't really see it. So I go ahead and end the turn. Planning on remorsing this Valkyrie here now, just to be safe on my life total. And we go ahead and fire off the remorse here. I think I felt good doing that because I don't remember seeing a Snakeskin Veil in the pool. Tramplers have always been tough for me, especially ones that can get bigger and are elves. That's the 4th land in a row. And yeah, like I said, that makes things really tough. I think we just have to get rid of this Beastkin Ranger here and play it maybe slightly safe. By just attacking with Gourmand, Collector, and Borders. It does require a couple double blocks and or chumps. I guess I mistapped there. I should have left 2 swamps open with the Collector in case I draw 9 Lives Familiar, I suppose. But I think that's a small thing. Go ahead and sack the 1/1, draw our 5th land in a row, and look at that. You can see me tilting with all the lands in the hand. Like, I've drawn like 4 lands in a row off the Gourmand alone. It's like, give me some card advantage, not more lands. So this seems to be the last moment of desperation for MnemonicDevice here, just kind of chumping with everything, basically. And now we have all sorts of lethal. So maybe, just maybe, it was enough in our hand here. Despite all the lands off the top. There's the good game and the concession. Wow. What a match. Lots of great decisions. Early overrun, really tough. Thanks for the matches, MnemonicDevice. Got that win. And looky there, we are moving up into 4th place with a record of 19-8. Lotta's still up there in 1st. Sepulcher and Seething Octopus are all above us. And Lenindler, Frisky Hobbit, Diabolic Machine, JM Tron, Cardigan, all these opponents are vying to compete against us to try to steal those spots. And there's still a lot of matches to be played this week by a lot of different players. Trying to get my matches in early to ensure that I have a pretty good idea of what I need toward the end of the week here. But that opponent match win percentage on the right, still getting to me a little bit. The AGL, what's it called? Top 8 predictor model, after today's win, actually has us at 75% to make top 8. Not a guarantee, but I'll take 75%. Whew, what a day today. You know what? There's 3 left. So thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next match.